Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT Ring Report. As you see right here, we have a lot of matches right here for the Evolution Eliminator. As who will get a shot to win these matches coming up? They're going to be 4 matches. You'll see right here. You can show the 4 matches right here. 4 matches that will determine which one of these women in the individual matches head to advances to a fatal 4-way. We'll see coming up right here. We'll see Jordan Grace taking on Lola Vice in a women's eliminator, evolution eliminator, as well as Keani Jordan taking on Last Legend one-on-one. Well, Ash and Keani will meet as well as this right here. This match right here, Tia here taking on Jada Parker. Miss Parker advance. We'll see. And we'll see Zarya taking on Izzy Dang. Which, like we said, which one of these four matches, these 4 eliminated matches, 4 women will advance. And they advance to the Fatal 4-Way coming up. As well as this huge 6-man tag team match as well. You see right here, Josh Bridges teams up with TNA's better known as Elias in WWE, but now Elijah. He'll take on with Yoshi Amari to take on the team of TNA champion Trick Williams. He teams up against AJ Francis. Mystery tag team. We'll get that as well. Also, too, we'll get this right here. Blake Monroe makes her debut. NXT about to be a little bit more glamorous as Blake Monroe will sign her contract as well. We get the NXT Ring Report started right here, right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kendrick Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation here, Pro Wrestling, here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, Miss Karen. Tell a friend, call a friend. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the NXT Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show. So we'll get to Blake Monroe in a little bit later on the show. Let's go and get things started right here, right now, with with Blake. Blake coming out there, preparing herself for her contract. Blake Monroe, she looks like she's ready and she's prepared for what she's gonna do. So we'll get to Blake in a little bit coming up as well. So like we said, Blake Monroe. Well, we get to this right here. We know those 4 matches and stuff. We'll start with one of the 4 matches right here with the women's eliminator. We saw Last Legend advances. Last Legend get the Duke as well. Last Legend doing what she needed to do to win her match tonight. So Last Legend advances as well as Miss Parker. Jada Parker advances. Jada Parker, Last Legend, these 2 women dances into their match as well. Hey, you saw how that went down. Also, too, right here, we saw Miss Parker taking out you know who, stuff like that. Also, too, Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace defeated what's her name? She advances on. She defeated Lola Vice. Jordan Grace getting one step closer. Jordan Grace, Last Legend. The list goes on and on. These women are winning their matches, getting themselves ready, prepared for the task at hand. So we see how that's going to go, how that's going to go down. Eventually, Jordan Grace winning. So we see Izzy Dame, Jordan Grace, Last Legend, then Miss Parker, Jada Parker. They're going to compete next week. Let me show the graphic right quick so we can show them next week. These 4 women won their 4 individual matches tonight. So next week, they're going to be battling out who's going to be next in line to be the number 1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship at Evolution to wrestle JC Jane for the belt. We're going to see how this is going to go. So keep your eye on that, folks. Jordan Grace, do it well. So look forward to seeing that. as well. Jordan Grace made the match right here. She made it right here. That Stacks want to go have a match against you know who. So she's gonna let them choose between who they're gonna want to go against. So we'll see how they're gonna go between Stacks and them. Stacks or Renzo and all the rest of them want to take their get their hands on Tony D'Angelo want to get his hands on Stacks. And he's only the question that everybody wants to know, everybody wants to see. So we'll see. That's gonna be an issue next week. Well, speaking of that, current champions meeting each other right here. Current the TNA champion meets the NXT champion. Might have a winner take all match down the road, but Oba Femi and Trick Williams um looking at each other, stand side by side. You know they want to look at each other real bad. So hey, I don't know how that could be between these two men battling out for the NXT championship. That could be the case down the road. So we will have to wait and see what they're gonna do. But we'll see. But Trick Williams will be in action a little bit later on. Zobo Fimby looking for his next opponent. Well, Javon Evans getting himself tied up with a no catch crew. Well, we know that what's his name? Tavian Heights wants to he's cool with Javon, but since Charlie Dempsey is a little bit jealous, Charlie Dempsey feels like Javon could free him by wrestling him one on one. So it's gonna happen next week. Tavon Heights versus Javon Evans. If Tavon Heights wins, he's out. He can get himself out the group. We'll see if that's gonna be the case and how that's gonna go as well. Also, too, right here, we see this right here. Um, the new foundation of Chase U. They're coming around. They're coming in and out. So hey, Chase U coming around, and we'll see how they're gonna progress going forward. Also, too, right here, we told you Stacks wants to put himself. Stacks get the opportunity whenever he can next week. So we'll see. The huge 6-man tag team match right here between Josh Bridge, Elias, uh, I'm looking more got his name, but went against TNA champion Trick Williams and AJ Francis and Wesley. What a shocker! What a shocker it was that we saw tonight right here. If we can show it right here. Trick Williams getting pinned by what's his name? Omaka. Trick Williams losing and Josh Bridge. Michael pinned the champion, but Josh Bridge, Mark said he came out here to help Josh Bridge. But we know next week Josh Bridge will get a shot at the TNA title next week. Trick Williams set to defend the TNA championship against Trick Williams. We'll see that next week. Trick Williams could be lying, flying on his face next week. And then that was Izzy Dane against Tar Zari. I don't know why they losing to these powerhouses and stuff. But right here, he's getting a shot next week. Josh Bridge. Trick Williams need to be focusing on what's his name rather than focusing on that man. He's gonna set to defend the championship next week, so we'll see that coming up. Well, it was time. It was time. The glamour. Blake Monroe. Blake Monroe did a vignette last week. She is ready. She is ready to appear. She popping up here. They even did vignettes of her showcasing her acting like Marilyn Monroe, a Hollywood starlet. And she did. She came out there. We told you earlier to get everything and ball and roasting the wheels and roasting and all that stuff. Well, Blake Monroe signed her NXT contract. She met some new friends, like to say at least, into toxic attraction, fatal attraction. JC James and them came out there and they got into a cat fight. So Blake Monroe ready and about being able to come there and sign, saying that she always dreamed of being in WWE. So Blake Monroe making her long time dream being in WWE rather than if she was AEW as Mariah May. So hey, Blake Monroe coming back and stuff. better than she ever did. So hey, you see how that's gonna go. All right. I mean, that's all we have for the pro wrestling show. No wrestling hot topics this week. On this show tonight, we're gonna have more on the AEW show. We're gonna keep everything more focused on AEW. Even Blake Monroe knows that when she left AEW, that she was never the same. Well, I guess that's gonna do it here for the pro wrestling show. So for me being Kendrick Dix, we know next week we're gonna have a main event. We know that Trick Williams set to defend the TNA title against Josh Bridges. That's coming up next week. So look forward to seeing that as well as this a fatal four way to determine who's next in line for the women's. All four women won their individual matches tonight. Now they move on next week to fight each other. Who's gonna get that shot to go against ACJ at Evolution in Atlanta for the NXT Women's Championship? We're gonna find out next week. So look forward to seeing that. But we're gonna end NXT Ring Report with Blake Monroe. Blake Monroe right here, getting herself together, signing a new contract, and now she's officially a WWE superstar. So for me being Kendra Dix, saying so long, we'll see you tomorrow for the